Today, we are going to try and help you differentiate. That's a big word. Let's try tell the difference between adjectives and prepositions when you're working with nouns. Because as you know, adjectives describe nouns and prepositions always have to have a noun after the preposition, and we want you to be able to tell the difference. Seems pretty simple, right? So, like I said, you already know that adjectives have a very specific job, and that is to describe nouns. When we use adjectives, we have some person, place, thing, or idea, and we want to give more information so that we are not thinking about many different kinds or types, but we're trying to narrow it down to something more specific. That's the job of adjectives. And we haven't talked about it yet, but adjectives actually have an order. That's right. There is a way in which you should be ordering your adjectives when you use many adjectives, because you can use a lot, because sometimes things are very general and we want to get very specific. And this is the order for adjectives. We start with the number of the people, place, things, ideas, and then our opinion. These are things that we think are true but may not be factual. And then we talk about the size. Is it big or small or wide or skinny? And then the age. How old is it? If you care. Some people care about that question a lot more than others. And then the shape. And then the color. And then the origin. That's where it comes from. This will usually use some sort of like country adjective. Like Canadian, American, or Korean. And then the material. What is it made out of? And then the purpose or the function. This is the order of adjectives, and we'll get into some examples a little bit later. But it's important that you know the easiest way to differentiate, or again, tell the difference between adjectives and prepositions is their purpose or their function. And adjectives describe nouns. Prepositions, on the other hand, they don't really describe nouns, rather they answer questions. Okay? So if you are connecting some sort of noun to more information or to more idea, then we would generally add information by answering questions like where, and then we have prepositions of place, when, and we have prepositions of time, or how, and we have prepositions of manner or relationship. So, for example, if I want to know where a person is, then I can say they are at the park, in their bedroom, or on the roof. That would be an example of where. Or I might say, well, when are we going to meet? And it could be at 5 o'clock. On Monday in 2022. I hope to see you there. Of course, we don't know where we're meeting, but those are all prepositions of time. Prepositions of manner or relationship can be a little harder to kind of work out, but it might be, well, how are you getting there? Well, I'm getting there with my mother on the bus. Okay? And these are prepositions of manner. Now, how can you tell the difference? When you get more practice, you can do all of this with your eyes open. But for now, it might be helpful to close your eyes as we go through some examples. Now, the reason you want to close your eyes is because if you can picture sentences in your head, if you can use your imagination, this will all make much more sense. So listen first to these examples. The student is wearing 2 smelly old striped socks. You see, the thing about adjectives is that they generally use the 5 senses. And if you can close your eyes and you can imagine the 2 smelly, old, striped socks, then you should be able to picture it, maybe even smell whatever they smell like, and this is what adjectives do. They give you more information and they create a better picture using those 5 senses. They are descriptive words. That's not the same as prepositions. Listen to the next example. The student is with her best friend at the new mall. Now, if you close your eyes and you picture it, instead of getting a really clear picture of the best friend or the mall, we know it's new, but all we get is a person that someone is connected with, and we get a place where the 2 people are spending their time. So whoever this student is, we know she is with her best friend. So now we don't have a picture of 1, we have a picture of 2. But we have very little information about either. We don't have a clear picture. And we know they are at the new mall. So we know the mall is not old and run down. We know it's new, but the picture that we have is not very descriptive. But it does give us new information about who the student is with and where the 2 friends are. Now listen to this last example. The student smells big, beautiful flowers on spring days. Here we get a little bit of both. We have a picture of big, beautiful flowers. Wait a minute. Big, beautiful? That's not the order that they're supposed to be in. It's supposed to be beautiful, big flower. Okay, so here's the thing. Sometimes there are exceptions to rules, and sometimes you're allowed to use the order that seems best to you. But you should know this is the usual order. Number, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. So even though we could say the student smells beautiful, big flowers, I don't think that sounds as nice as the student smells big, beautiful flowers on spring days. So that's the little warning about exceptions. Let's get back to the picture. If you opened your eyes for that, you can close them again. And try and picture the big, beautiful flowers. And then stop for a moment and think of this last part, on spring days. It's important to realize that the preposition separates the 2 nouns, okay? We don't say flowers on. The preposition is not connected to this noun. The preposition is always connected to the noun that follows it. That's called the object of the preposition. Remember that the preposition is connected to the noun that answers the question. So here we have on spring days, which tells us time. It tells us when the student smells big, beautiful flowers. And also, spring here is the adjective describing days. And if we have what we would call a prepositional phrase, a group of words that starts with a preposition and ends with a noun, you'll learn more about them later. Just know that that's the general order. It's going to be preposition, any adjectives, and then the noun will be at the end. The important thing for you to remember after this lesson is that the way you separate adjectives from prepositions is by their job or their function in a sentence. Adjectives describe nouns. They give us a clearer picture. Prepositions add more information by answering questions about place, time, manner, or relationship. So, let's review. You can open your eyes now.
Adjectives and prepositions with nouns. What do adjectives do? Adjectives describe nouns. They never describe verbs. What kind of information do adjectives describe? Adjectives usually describe something you can understand with your five senses. It's a clear picture. What are the five senses? The five senses are sight, touch, taste, smell, and hearing. When you are using many adjectives, what is the correct order? The correct order of adjectives is number, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. What do prepositions do? Prepositions add information or answer questions. What kind of questions do prepositions answer? Prepositions answer questions such as where, when, or how, place, time, or manner. It is not a clear picture. What is the preposition always connected with? The preposition is always connected with the noun that follows it.